Hi, I'm the Now Visitor, and you are watching Trek Culture.
Genuinely delighted to have you back. So thank you so much. And also now because we can talk about kind of so much more in detail than we could the last time we were chatting.
Mhm.
The last time we were chatting, I left that chat going, this guy's an Iconian.
That's one of my favorite things. I was just texting Michelle Paradise the other day about this. It's don't you love when they make videos, not specifically Trek Culture, but anybody make videos about what they think this character is, and they're like, nope, nope, like everything you're getting is wrong. It's very funny. And what was one of them? I don't know if it was Trek Culture or not, but one of them was they thought that the tech that they were going to steal was the thing that made Geordi and Ro disappear in that episode where they thought they were dead because it was a Romulan thing. And I was like, man, that would have been interesting, but no, that's not that's not at all what's going on. It's slightly bigger than that.
That is, and Joe, I don't know, that never entered my head, and now I feel silly because it's like the only other time we've seen that Romulan ship was in that episode.
Right.
So,
So that's how they made the connection. Yeah.
okay. So if that person made that video is watching this video right now, fair play. That was I
I
like
mean, you're
that
wrong,
logic.
but fair play. Yeah.
Because I know you're a massive Trekkie,
Yeah.
and that's not always the case when it comes to performers in Trek, because you don't have to be a massive Trekkie to be a performer in Trek. It helps, but you get to rejoin Star Trek, bigger role than last time, and add an enormous part to Star Trek lore by going, "Hey, this is what the Breen looked like." How does that
Yeah.
feel?
That was a big thing for me. I remember going in for the plastering where they like put you under plaster for 20 minutes and you have to try not to have a panic attack when they mold your face because they're going to build the mask on your face. And I said, "You guys have any?" Like, they didn't tell me anything about what I was doing. They told me I was an alien, a nondescript alien. And in Star Trek, even the word alien doesn't really make any sense. And they didn't tell me anything about what he was. I don't even think I knew his name at that point. And yeah, and I hadn't met. I'd known Eve for a bit, but I hadn't talked to her or knew that she was in it yet. I really knew nothing. I went in completely blind. They offered me the role, and then I went to do this thing, and they showed me. I asked for some concept art or something, and they showed me a little picture of him. I was like, "Oh, he's really cool. Do you know what race he is?" And the makeup said, "Yeah, he's a Breen." And I was like, "Oh, wait a minute. The Breen don't take off their helmets." That was my first. And then I remember the the makeup guy's like, "Oh, you know about this stuff." I'm like, "Yeah, no, the Breen don't take off their helmets." I'm like, "Are you telling me that I'm going to be the first Breen that takes his helmet off?" And he said, "Yeah, they're going to be where you're going to be the first Breen ever seen." Rhyme unintended. And yeah, man, that got me really excited because you get it when you get into this, like, as a nerd about this stuff, you kind of want to be like, I accepted the role no matter what it would be. They offered it to me, and I was like, well, I'm going to be on Star Trek. I'm not going to say no unless it's like something that I really wouldn't want to do, but I couldn't see that happening. And even if it was, a couple episodes, I would have accepted it. And I didn't know how impactful to the Star Trek history it would be until that day. And then I was like, oh, this might be more serious than I thought. This might be more of a thing than I thought. And I was really, really hyped. I remember thinking about it a lot to get through that 20, 40 minutes of being inside a cast, literal cast, trying to breathe through your nose and not have a panic attack. I remember thinking, like, oh, okay, the Breen, oh yeah, okay, Deep Space Nine, and oh yeah, Worf, and I'm like, didn't Nana take their uniform at one point? So shouldn't she have seen a Breen? Like, these are the things that are going through my head as I'm getting plaster poured over me. The only thing I was thinking, and I was like, now we're getting into nerd stuff, but I was like, because it doesn't happen to Locke. I mean, we're talking about season 7 spoilers, right? So episode 7 spoilers already. But it doesn't happen to Locke when he dies. He doesn't evaporate, but he's already in his form. So my excuse was, when they die, and they're not in that Locke form that every other Breen refuses to do, maybe they evaporate. That's why they never saw. I don't have any written proof of this. It's just my theory. I just thought, well, that's probably why when Nana took the Kira, we keep calling her now. She
Yeah.
when she took the when she took the costume, maybe she killed it and it evaporated, and then killed him and then evaporated, and then took the costume. That's my excuse anyway. I hope somebody writes the lore and puts that in.
Because we know so little about the Breen, I have nothing to contradict what you just said. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So that's it. That's what it is. I decree it. I have no power here. I have no power here.
I mean, you say you've got no power here, and yes, I mean, you have this massive, massive honor. You will now be the dictionary memory alpha image of what the Breen look like.
Well, that's what I thought of that too, because I collect. I used to really do it a lot when I was younger, but now my kids are starting to buy me, for Father's Day and stuff. It's like, oh, the Star Trek Discovery ship manuals and the Star Trek alien manuals and all the different species of. And I'm like, oh, you know what's really cool is now I'm going to be in one of those, and they're going to list me like my actual name, and like that's crazy. And it's fun to talk to my old friends too, because I used to, Star Trek is a big thing in my childhood, and talking to my old friends, they're like, do you really think about how crazy this is? Like, could you have told your 14-year-old self that you would literally be on the Enterprise? I mean, that's like playing a bad guy in a Star Trek show that is sets a historical precedent on the show. I'm like, man, sometimes you just step back and you think about it. You're like, yeah, that's pretty crazy. I suppose maybe because the show's on right now, but I think like in a year removed, I'll be like, hey, I was on Star Trek. I had fights on the Enterprise, like stuff like that is yeah, it's not really sinking in just yet. Specifically, I remember sitting in that medical bed there in episode 7 in the Discovery, and just watching everyone work around me, because I was lying down a lot. I was lying down that whole episode, but there was a lot of like me in the background while other stuff was happening. So I had to be there, which means I had to go through the makeup and the hands, and I had to do all that. So I'm still working like 6 hours before everybody gets there. And then I'm just sitting there watching everyone work. And I'm just like, I remember thinking this specifically. I remember thinking, as difficult as this is every day, I'm so happy to be here. Like in this show, on this set, with this like these Breen showing up and Sonequa being the greatest, and Eve just killing it, like killing everything she does. And I'm just like, I'm so happy to be here. This is so cool. And I remember thinking that specifically because I'm always tired. Every time you see Locke, I'm tired because it takes a lot out of you to wear that makeup and that wardrobe all day. But I remember specifically thinking how lucky I am to be there and how cool it all is, like a few times.
I think one thing as well that's both, it's a testament both to the performance and to the team that goes into building Locke, is how much you are, you're covered in plasticine and yet you can emote through that. I mean, there is serious acting going on.
I just emailed Jen McGowan, who directed episode 5. I just emailed her today, and I was thanking her because I may have already said this to you, Sean, but like, it's worth repeating. I was so nervous about getting through the makeup and the contacts, right? Because everything I do as an actor, mostly, if you go watch anything I've done without the prosthetic, it's mostly pretty subtle or naturalistic is kind of like the style I like to do. I don't like to be melodramatic. I don't like to overact. And the note I would get from Tunde and Jen on that episode in particular was bigger. Like, we need you to be bigger. I need you to be bigger. And it was like going against all my instincts as an actor. It was almost like, why did you hire me for this? Like, I honestly thought that a couple of times. I'm like, well, you're pushing me to this place that I don't ever go. Like, I have no history of going here. Why are you trying to push me? And Jen said, and I never forget this, and this is what I thanked her for this morning, was she said, I promise you, I will not let you get melodramatic. I will not use the take if you go that far, and I will pull you back if you do. And I was like, okay, I'm trusting you. And I did trust her, and it's not melodramatic. It comes through. Through perfectly. It's big. There are head movements, particularly, that are way bigger than I would have done outside of the mask. But they were conscious choices that I did to over emote. but it didn't come across as cheesy or melodramatic. I hope it didn't seem, at least when I watched the episode. I'm like, I'm glad this worked. It didn't come across as big as it felt on the day. Yeah, the fact that it came through, and you know what I love? There's already, people, and I knew this would happen if it worked. I said to Eve, I'm like, if this works, within a week, you're gonna see people making like love videos of Maul and Locke. I'm like, if this works, and I'm like, that'll be an indication that it works, that it worked, that people were like, I love this couple, I'm gonna do this, and I'm like, and it did. I've seen 3 of them already, so that means it works, and yeah, that makes me very happy.
I'm going to give a shameless plug to Chris's Beach Boys.
That's right. So that was Chris that did that one?
That was Chris did that one, yeah.
There you go. So there's one.
There was one thing so we haven't spoken to you before. There was one thing that I know you really wanted to come across, and that is the love story.
Yeah.
And I know we were laughing before, and I was going like, right up until episode 5, I was just like, oh, when is the backstab going to happen? Because it's such a trope now in cinema. And episode 5, for all of the Breen Imperium, and you've got massive crates, and it's all very big industrial type set, it is one of the sweetest little stories that I think I've seen in recent times in Trek. And that is with the kind of the devil may care attitude as well. You bounce off each other so well. You play such a sweetheart.
Deep down, yeah.
Yeah. And it works. It works really, really well. So you feel that, having gone from, it's like, she is going to stab him in the back to, no, she is going to stab anyone who upsets or does anything to this guy.
Well, good. That's what we were going for. One thing I really liked is, I think I tweeted about this, but when he takes off his mask and the Breen face is there, the CGI face, that was the only time in that whole season where I didn't have to put on a prosthetic or a helmet, because they filmed my actual face doing what he did. It's kind of, and they put dots on my face, kind of, they did a performance capture thing. And that was another thing I was really worried about. I was like, is it going to come through? Because I really want him to be shy about this. Like he doesn't like this face that he's showing her, and it's a part of him that he's been trying to push away. So I don't want him to. I want him to be like, I don't really want to show you this, and I wanted the love to come across, and they did a great job capturing. Hopefully, that's mostly my performance. But even if it's not, even if they tinkered and changed it a little bit, they did a great job with it, because that empathy comes, like, the empathy that I want people to feel for him really is evident there. One thing about Eve that was great working with her was that she knows nothing about Star Trek. Like, nothing at all. So I was like, she would say these things to me, like, like, okay, what is the progenitor's tech? And she's like, it doesn't really make sense. I'm like, all right, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to send you these clips from YouTube. All right, it's going to be from an episode called The Chase. Now, you got to go watch it. You don't have to watch the whole episode. It's okay. Really, just the ending is really important. Like, things like that. So she's like, I'm always bouncing off Elias. Like, why is the Breen important? Like, okay. All this, it really was it was a lot of fun being on set with her, because she had no idea, but she's so sweet and great that she was able to sell it, even though she didn't really know what we were talking about.
Do you know what I think is, like, almost thematically very funny about that sort of fits is, Maul and how she kind of reacts to this Breen Imperium, all this history, all this heaviness. Well, it's a bit like even Star Trek. It's like, I respect that it's big. I get it. I may not know the nuts and bolts of it, but
she's like, screw you, we're married. I'm coming with you. Like, that's it. That's all. Yeah, I love that. That's true. Yeah, she doesn't care. And that's what's so great about her character. It's she made this decision, and she's so honorable of a person that she sticks with it, even in death. For Locke, I mean, and she's like, I'm taking him with me, and you're not. I don't care about Starfleet. I watched 7 just today, and I remember thinking, I love that she basically goes, well, I'm going to turn my back on Starfleet right now. Like, she knows that Starfleet could help her, maybe, and they've been trying to help her, but she's like, look, Starfleet's going to trying to screw you guys over. You bring me with you and I'll help you. That's why I love 5 so much, because, and the reaction to it in particular, because people hopefully are taking away from it that they're not bad guys, and they murder, but they murder, you know, who have they murdered really? They tried to kill Burnham a couple of times, I guess, but mostly they killed the dealer that was going to screw them over, and, a synth that was going to screw them over, and a bunch of bodyguards. They didn't even really kill the bodyguards. So it's really just get out of our way. That's it. Just give us our freedom. That's what their thing is. We're not going to hurt you if we don't have to. I don't want to. I just want to leave. And if this is going to give us freedom, then we're going to damn well take it. And that was always our driving goal. It was the love and freedom.
But one of the things as well is about like the trying to kill Burnham thing. I mean, first, who hasn't tried to kill Burnham? So I mean, sure, that's all right. But also, I think they know that, and they know that she's unkillable, and they're like, well, we can try and kill her. We know she'll be okay, so we're not trying to kill her.
Maybe, yeah, that could be in there. Why not? I don't think they're. I mean, they're not evil. They're not evil. Just literally, just get out of my way.
Working on the Enterprise, how cool was that?
That was the thing. That was the thing where I emailed my family, and I was like, okay, you can't share this, but I'm on the Enterprise, guys. Like, I'm sitting on the Enterprise, and I'm sitting on the. I went to the bridge and took.
I think
pictures.
Did you share that picture the other day where you were in the captain's seat? That's brilliant.
Yeah, because they were shooting on the bridge, but I never shot a scene on the bridge. All my stuff was in sick bay. And you know, I have videos of like, hey, look at Jeffrey's tube, and like it was lit. I'm like, I'm in a Jeffrey's tube. So that kind of stuff. Of course, man, I was freaking out. I remember, because they don't tell you stuff. It's really frustrating. This is every TV show, not just Star Trek Discovery, but like, I didn't know that was coming. I didn't know that the Enterprise was coming. I knew we were doing the flashback stuff. I knew that was coming. I didn't know the script of it. I just knew, don't worry, we're going to get into how they meet and all that. And I'm like, great. And then I overheard a props guy when I was getting in the helmet for episode 1. I overheard a props guy go, yeah, because we need to use that on the Enterprise. And I was like, I'm sorry, what was that? What did you say there? And he's like, oh, no, nothing. And I remember like it stuck in my head. They don't even tell, like the props people don't even tell the actors. And then I started kind of prodding, and yeah, we're going to end up on the Enterprise at one point, and it's the ISS Enterprise. And I'm like, wait a minute, like the one, and I started trying to remember season 1 and 2. Like, did the Enterprise ever go into like a mirror universe in season 1? I'm like, so you're saying this is the ISS Enterprise from Mirror? Like that ISS Enterprise? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. I'm like, oh my God, this is the geekiest, friggin' coolest thing I've ever been a part of. Yeah, so I was very, very happy. And yeah, it was the Strange New World set. I'm sure it was a way to save money budget. I'm sure that's
of course,
maybe why they came up with it. But if they came up with it in a clever way, it's a good place to hide a clue. And they did a throwback to the old stuff, which was great. I think Locke should have had a goatee. It would have been really cool. Just in that episode, not unexplained. Just
wanted a goatee. Locke and Maul, both of them.
Yeah. Unexplained goatee when they're on the ISS Enterprise. I think that really would have worked. Nobody talks about it, but it would have worked. And again, like you watch this stuff, and you know, like I produce television animations. It's a little different, but like I know how difficult it is to get this stuff done. And I this is why I don't want to go on this tangent, but this is why, and I'm going to swear, it bothers the out of me when people bash shows that are so hard to make. Like this show is so hard to make. These guys are working, not just the actors, everybody is working 15-hour days for not you particularly, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, for you to enjoy. If you don't enjoy it, just shut the up. Like it drives me crazy. And I it's not just Star Trek. I see this with, it's a lot of projects that I'm involved in or friends are involved in, where I'm just like, guys, keyboard warriors with your fake names, like stop. Because, and the reason it bothers me, and the reason I just straight block them on any sort of social media and stuff, is because I know how hard these people work. You know, whether you like their choices or dislike their choices is neither here nor there. These people are working like, you can easily say, I have no issue with somebody going, not for me.
Yeah.
Cool. And you're not going to watch it? No, it's not my thing. Like I got a really good friend of mine who loves Star Trek, who doesn't care about Greek mythology. And I got this Blood of Zeus show that's coming out on Netflix, right? Which I need people to watch because we want to get sequels and stuff like that. We want to get more seasons. So I'm like, dude, can you watch it? And he's like, okay, I'll put it on, but I don't really care about Greek mythology. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna get mad at him. I'm like, cool, you don't care about it. That's fine. But he's also not gonna go online going, look how stupid this like look how woke this. Oh my god, just shut up. It drives me crazy. And I think it's gotten to a point now where Eve and I were talking about this. Eve's like just doesn't go on social media really.
Sure.
And because she said for other things that she's been in and stuff, it's just like she can't deal with people just mocking her. And I work in games a lot, and I have friends who are in like The Last of Us 2 who are being threatened because they don't like what the character in The Last of Us 2 did.
Oh,
like things like that. It's like, guys, just stop with your anonymous like bashing of things. Just don't watch it, don't play it.
What I forget sometimes is that it is the minority. They're very, very
They're just
loud.
a loud, yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're just a loud minority.
And they seem to be good at, they'll whip up, 5 or 6 will make the noise of say, however much. And then we're going to think like, right, well then, you see, so speaking for a TrekCulture video, it has, X amount of thousand of views, and you've got like a couple of comments, and they suck, and they always stand out. You tell yourself they won't, and they always do.
There's going to be some on this too.
Oh, there will be. Yeah. And then there will be, because, well, hang on, that's like 5 comments, and we've got, a few thousand views. Why am I obsessing over this? Why does this
totally
get
my own thing that I gotta like?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. It's just I normally didn't care, but I think because I watch how hard these people work and how much they care on everything, and again, not just stuff that I'm in, and I just watch these people work so hard, and I know how difficult it is, and just to see people like, oh, this sucks. I hope this show goes away. I hope this game bombs. You're like, why are you saying these things? Just don't say anything. And it's something I don't really, I can't really wrap my head. There's a bit of an offshoot of that, but I did this game. I think Chris knows this game. I did this game called Starfield. The funny thing was that before the game came out, because it was an Xbox exclusive, people were bashing, PlayStation fans were bashing the game. And I was looking at comments going, one guy like would comment under every Starfield post on X with some terrible thing, and I just started laughing and thinking, who has the time to go through and why are you spending your time doing this? The Shatner get a life, will you people? It's like, now it really applies. That was a joke. This really applies. Just get a life. Stop. It's just a TV show, just a game.
I think as well, and there will be some people who, I don't want to speak for everyone, who will take the, oh, it's just TV show, and they won't react well to it. They'll be like, oh, but it means something. And it does. It does. Look,
well, I just said how it means something to me. It meant something to me growing up. So I get that.
And then you have, again, it does one or two, like, it's like, well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. You can't tell me not to watch Star Trek. Then why are you hate watching? I don't understand. What?
It is a hate watching thing. And criticism is totally, look, I'm not going to say it because, again, I have friends. There are parts of Star Trek history that I like abhor. There are some of the movies that I'm like, I hate this movie. I'm never going to say which one it is publicly ever, and I'm never going to tell the people who worked on it, like, how dare you? Just like, I know how hard you worked. Not for me. I'm never going to watch it again. We shouldn't even be taking the time to comment on it because it's kind of, we're our own worst enemies in this case.
Actually, yeah. Right. So, okay, no, you're dead right. You're dead right. So, actually, yeah, you're dead. So let's, as of the recording of this, yes, unfortunately, very sad, Locke is now in a body bag. But that glimmer of hope is there that maybe he's not going to stay in a body bag. I would love to see turning up in every Starfleet Academy, everything going forward, hop through the Guardian of Forever, go back, like for all we know, there has been a Breen in the back of every Star Trek episode ever. We just didn't know they were a Breen, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
But if there was, say something that you would hope that now we have possibly your full story, what do you hope people will take from Locke?
I'm already pretty happy. I really am. I wanted people to empathize with them. I think they have. I wanted. I like the fact that he is now a specific, like especially historical character in the history of Star Trek. I just want. I want people to like. I just want people to like them. I the worst thing you want people as an actor, you want an audience to either hate you or love you. If the audience is completely indifferent, then you lost. And that was my only fear. It's like I don't care if they hate Locke. I think it's hard to hate them specifically Maul and Locke. But I definitely don't want them to be indifferent and not care. And those are when they don't care, it's like that was my biggest fear. And so far, everybody that at least has reached out to me. I'm sure it's not everybody. I'm sure there are people that are indifferent to him. Like I said, stop watching. But I think for the most part, I like to think of them more as a couple than just Locke. I feel like he's incomplete without Maul, even as a character. Like I feel like they're one character in a weird way. So I always refer to them as we. I just wanted them, us to resonate, and I think that they have, and hopefully, with episode 7, hopefully people are sad that he passes, and people are angry, and people back Maul for the latter couple of episodes where she's going to do her thing, hopefully, yeah, that's really all I wanted. I just wanted them to resonate, and I think they have. And if they, like I said, if one day I go to Barnes and Noble or whatever bookstores in Ireland, and I pull out a little Starfleet manual or Star Trek manual, and Locke is in there, there's like my name under it. Hey man, I'm done. I did my job. That's all I really wanted. And then I want to see some Maul and Locke cosplay every now and again. That'd be nice.
I know full well that there, like you said, there will definitely be Maul. There is going to be Locke cosplay, and it's going. I know it's going to blow our minds.
They can do it. Yeah, I've seen crazier cosplay. That's for sure.
Just really quickly before we go as well, what are your upcoming, like what else now do we have to look forward to when it comes to yourself? You mentioned, of course, you've got the Netflix show coming.
Yeah, Blood of Zeus is coming out next week, May 9th, whenever that is. Like, only
wow, okay.
5 days. 4 days, 6 days, and that's a great show. It's Castlevania on Netflix, like that.
Yep.
Those same producers, same animation. Well, Netflix obviously same producer, but the same animation house. And we already did one season, and it's great. And I play the main antagonist. Again, he's not a villain; he's an antagonist.
I like this.
But he does murder a lot of people. Yeah, and it's a great show, and I'm really proud of it. And and then everything else, it's all under NDA. I literally have 3 other things, but they're all can't even announce them. So that's about it. I would say Blood of Zeus and the rest of the season of Star Trek Discovery. And then hopefully by then I'll be able to talk about the next things I'm doing.
That's also, I mean, but definitely by no means are you going into an early retirement.
No. I have a lot to do. I have a lot of stuff coming up. But these things take a long, like the one I just started working on is probably not even coming out to 2026.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a lot of NDAs are crazy in this business now, but they're so paranoid about it. You should have seen Star Trek got mad at me for our podcast last time. Paramount did. Mad at me. They weren't mad at me. They just were like, excuse me, Elias, could you not do any podcasts until it airs, please? I'm like, oh, why? Did I say anything? I didn't say anything. They're like, no, it's just not that. It's just we'd rather reveal it ourselves. I'm like, okay. Got it. No.
And it's cost. And actually, do you know what I have to say? I do understand. Obviously, selfishly, yeah, thanks very much for coming on the pod. I do understand. I do. There's people who are losing hair over trying to keep their, keep spoilers.
No, I get it. But I always say if I don't piss off marketing, I'm not really doing my job. I like to tick them off a little bit. I have a slightly antagonistic. It's like, guys, I'm going to talk about this. No. Yeah, no, I'm going to. Then I don't. I just bother them with it.
I love how, like, in any project, okay, we have our marketing department, we have our Elias marketing department over here as well.
I've gotten in trouble many, many times, but I've never revealed a secret or spoiled something. Because I'm also a TrekCulture fan. And I texted you about the up thing with my text message.
That was just like, you know, kind of because even like and like, thank you so much, and it's so sweet and everything here, and that's like mind blowing. Like, but you make Trek. Where
I don't make it, I'm in it.
What? This lovely crossover, massive ego moment. Like,
I will tell that. Just let me tell it what it is that my text message, when I get a text message, it's the Picard, it's the Next Generation door chime, right? And that's what you use. I can't find the sound on my iPhone, forget it. But that's what you use for an up. So every time I'm watching, very often what I'll do is I'll put TrekCulture on and I'll be like doing the dishes, or I'll be like cleaning up or driving and just listening. And every time it's like, I'll give that an up. Like somebody's texting me. Oh no, it's just the show. But it happens like Pavlov's dog. Every time you give an up, I'm like, text. Oh no. Every time. It's funny. So I texted Sean to tell him that because it was driving me crazy.
And it's funny, like, and knowing it's driving you crazy means we're going to put more ups in the episode.
That's all I'm really doing it for. So you just give more ups to Star Trek Discovery. This is all made up.
Elias, you're a legend. Thank you so much. I think, having seen now as much of the season as I have, you know, when we first spoke, you were hoping the character would resonate. I think ye have smashed it. I think that the combination of obviously performance and writing and everything together, I think people will remember Maul and Locke. I really do.
Thank you. I hope so. That's good to hear.
So you know, as the people who blew up Discovery. Oh, spoiler.
Yes, Discovery blows up in episode 9.
Yeah, because they knew it was the final season. Yeah.
Actually, you know what it is? We decided that it's all Riker and Deanna Troi on a holodeck. All 5 seasons, it's just Riker on a holodeck.
Part of me wants to interview the poor man to be like, how many times do people say that to you in the last 20 years? And does your eye twitch when you hear the word like holodeck, or these are the voyages at this stage, or is it Maul and Locke on a holodeck going, right, well, now we know how that could go. We won't seek out progenitors.
Season 6 is just all Maul and Locke, just chilling. Not even doing anything, just chilling. They watched the show today, this episode. It was great. They just cuddled.
Yeah, I want to see that. I just want to see them have a cuddle. Right, headcanon, the finale is going to end with the pair of ye on a beach. It does mean you're going to have to do full body prosthetics, so...
I'm looking forward to that.
Be grand. Elias, as always, you're a star, you're a hero. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And a swift recovery to Locke.
Thanks.
Thank you so much for watching this abbreviated version of this podcast. Now, if you go to our audio platforms, you will get the full version of this podcast with this guest. So we really, really appreciate you subscribing to that, and you're just awesome and wonderful. Thank you so much.